Just to give you guys some information on the tree itself, you know, normally hundreds of thousands pack Rockefeller Center a day to see the tree, but obviously that'll be different with pandemic restrictions in place. This is a 75-foot Norway spruce, and it was unveiled last month. Remember, some of you might have seen the tree in its first unveiling. It was a little sparse, needed some zhuzhing of the branches. But there we are showing you this live report, or excuse me, this shot from 30 Rock. And the tree will be open to visitors daily between 6 a.m. and midnight. And face masks and social distancing will be in place as well for those visiting to see the tree. There is a 5-minute limit in the plaza there for viewing. And we're going to talk about all of this with Fox 5 New York's Richard Giacovis, who is on the scene live for us. We just lost the shot there. We have Richard, though. Richard, with the pandemic here, you know, just really rising especially in New York and in the country, this was kind of a nice tradition to see still take place, but it must have been different.
It was very different because when you were standing here on West 51st Street, which they just opened a little while ago, and you got to look at the tree, it was kind of sad in a way because there was only a few people gathering, but you could tell they were gathering for just a few short moments and then they'd walk away. So yes, there was some tradition being kept alive this year, but it was so limited. And what we focused on earlier in our story was when we were on 6th Avenue, which is just just about a half a block down from where we are on 51st Street. There were many people that were wondering where was the tree, because you can't see the tree unless you are on one of these 3 streets in between the buildings. So if you're on either of the avenues, the NYPD had a lot of that blocked off tonight where people could not see where the tree was. So it was kind of disappointing and sad in a way, but again, there was still some sort of the tradition. So, you know, it was kind of an in-between feeling tonight for many.
And Richard, you know, usually there's a big ceremony with the mayor and, you know, celebrity performances and musical acts, and hundreds of thousands of people kind of gather in the plaza there. You know, obviously that didn't take place. Were there virtual options to see the lighting? Was it live streamed and things like that for those who couldn't make it in person?
Well, it was on television. It was on television, so you could see it on TV. I'm sure there were ways you could watch it online. Again, that was encouraged this year. You know, people were not encouraged to come here and look at the tree in person. What they're hoping is that people will come at a later date with a pre-ticketed ticket, that they could come for 5 minutes, stand on their little pod, which is along 50th and 49th Streets there. They could look up at the tree for 5 minutes, take a picture, snap a selfie, and then leave. But that's all they want this year, and that will start as of tomorrow through early next year.
And Richard, can you kind of tell us about the tree itself? You know, where did it come from? How tall is it? You know, I remember seeing a lot of these images of it when it was first unveiled on social media, and it looked a little sparse and a little skinny. It kind of became a meme in and of itself, isn't that right?
It did. It did. It did. It looked a little Charlie Brown-like in the beginning, but once they spruced it up, no pun intended, they got this tree nice and full, and it's 75 feet, the Norwegian spruce, like it is every year. I mean, it looks identical to maybe trees in the past. I think some people arguably are like, well, this kind of looks like the same as it's always been. It was cut down in upstate New York in a town of Oneonta, and it was brought here just a few weeks ago. And, you know, the Rockefeller Center people, they get this tree looking better than ever every year, and it's topped with that Swarovski crystal star. So again, there is still that element of holiday tradition in 2020, and it's really, really nice to see.
Sorry, my mic was down there, but you're live in Rockefeller Center for us. But there was a kind of a star.
Okay.
There was a star of this tree, and that was that owl that they found in the tree itself, and it's kind of become this, you know, Hollywood or holiday.
Oh yes, the owl.
If you will. Kind of talk us about that. We know it was released back into the wild, but it kind of became another meme for the tree itself in this holiday season.
It did, in a way. If you remember that owl, they named it Rockefeller, by the way. I think they said that it had gotten inside the tree on its way down from Oneonta, that it wasn't necessarily living in the tree, but they had taken it to a rehab center in upstate New York, where they were trying to rehabilitate the owl, and then they let it back actually into the wild a couple of weeks ago and set it free. They rehabbed it, actually. It was really, really cool. They named it Rockefeller, which I think is fitting.
All right, well, Fox 5's Richard Giacobos, thank you so much for joining us here on News Now from Fox. We are in Phoenix. I think this was your first hit with us, so we hope to see you again here on News Now from Fox. Have a good night.
Phoenix.
The holidays.
All right, well, we're glad we could bring you that holiday report there from 30 Rock in Midtown Manhattan. That's right across from the Fox News World headquarters.